Wouldn't you know it? Story of my life. The single most important interview since Moses talked to God, and Mr. Wonderful is...
Wish!
Late.
Good evening, Miss Lane.
Careful, you'll... Okay, so you won't.
Thank you very much for finding the time for this interview. I realize there must be many questions about it the world would like to know the answers to. So it's become important to me to have close relations with the press. All right, now you really shouldn't smoke, you know.
Lung cancer?
Well, not yet, thank goodness.
Let's start with your vital statistics, okay?
Sure.
Age?
30.
Height?
6'4".
Weight?
195.
And I take that the rest of your bodily functions are what we consider normal?
Beg your pardon?
Well, to put it delicately, do you eat?
When I'm hungry.
Oh. Well, would you like a cookie?
Oh, what kind?
Macaroons.
Thanks anyway.
A glass of wine?
No, I never drink when I fly.
Is it true you can see through anything?
So far.
And you're totally impervious to pain?
So far.
What color underwear am I wearing?
Pink.
And, do you have a first name?
What do you mean, like Ralph or something?
What's your background? Where do you hail from?
Well, I come from a planet in the Xeno galaxy. It's a place called Krypton.
Krypton, with a C-R-Y?
No, actually it's Krypton with a K-R-Y.
Uh-huh. And do you like pink?
I like pink very much, Lois.
Look, just why are you?
Sorry, I don't understand.
I mean, why are you here? Well, there's got to be a reason for all of this.
Because I'm here to fight for truth, for justice in the American way.
You're going to wind up fighting almost every elected official in this country.
Well, I'm sure you don't really mean that, Lois.
Well, what with your strange powers?
You think they're strange?
Well, it's not exactly your average Joe who can deliver an airmail letter without putting a stamp on it.
I wouldn't do that, Lois. That's against the law.
I don't believe this.
I never lie.
Just how fast do you fly?
Gosh, I don't really know. I mean, I've never actually timed it or anything. What do you say we find out together?
Just how do you propose we do that?
Take a ride with me.
You mean would I like to fly?
Well, I'll handle the flying myself.
Well, you wouldn't drop me or anything, would you? No, of course you wouldn't. Oh, this is utterly fantastic. If only Clark could see me now.
Who's Clark?
Clark Kent. He's a sort of a rewrite man at the Planet. Suffers from a slight case of the dulls, if you know what I mean.
Well, I'm sure he's really very nice, Lois. Well, where are you going?
To get a sweater, isn't it kind of cold up there?
You'll be warm enough. I'll wrap you up in my cape. Ready?
Clark said you were only rigged with wires, like Peter Pan.
Peter Pan flew with children, Lois, in a fairy tale.
What you're going to see here is the Niagara Falls hotel scene, originally written by Tom Mankiewicz for Superman 2.
Ash!
Whoops!
Oh, my gosh.
It's all right, Clark. I just didn't hear the knock, that's all.
For goodness sake, Lois, the door wasn't even locked. I mean, anybody can walk in here.
There you go, Clark. Running yourself down again.
Oh, very funny.
I'm being perfectly serious.
Well, anyway, here, little something for the newlyweds' dinner tonight.
Pansies.
Yeah.
Clark, how different.
Well, they grow wild around here. You should see what they're charging for roses in the gift shop. You know something, Lois? It's, well, you know, in spite of the unreality of all this, I'm, you know, posing as newlyweds for the sake of a newspaper story. Well, in spite of myself even, I'm kind of starting to feel like one in a way.
A newlywed? You?
I don't see why that should be so strange.
Oh, I'm sorry, Clark. I really am. I guess there must have been lots of girls who, well, a few anyway, who...
Go ahead and say it.
What?
That you're not satisfied being here with me. Hmm? That in some way, I don't seem to shape up in your eyes. Well, darn it, I don't have anything to apologize for. I'm a good reporter. No, I'm a very good reporter. And I'm an even better friend to you.
Stand up, Clark.
Stand up?
Just for fun. Look at yourself. Potentially this handsome, aggressive, dynamic guy, capable of anything he wants to do. It's not my fault, Clark. You put yourself down.
How?
Well, in the first place, you slouch. Stand up straight for once. Go on. Good. Now, get yourself a jacket with more than one vent, and shoes that don't lace up, and a shirt with a little color or pattern in it, and a bow tie that doesn't look like a letter opener.
All right, Lois. Now, I take your point, okay? And we've been through all this before. I'm sorry, but no matter how hard I try, I just never will be him.
Him? Who?
Who else? Superman. Hmm? No, I can't seem to, you know, get over the fact that you seem to think you're in love with him. Well, I'm sorry, Lois. That's enough now. Maybe I just can't stand the competition anymore.
And maybe you just have been the competition all along.
No, Lois, I've never been particularly good at riddles.
And let me give you an easy one. Why, with thousands of children potentially falling off something lethal somewhere else in the world, why would Superman suddenly appear here, today, at Niagara Falls? Why not the Grand Canyon?
Why don't you ask the child's family? I'm sure they
And
would
why
know.
is it always when I'm with you? Up to the moment, of course, when Superman appears. You're never there, are you? You've always just disappeared somehow, and somewhat conveniently, it's always seemed to me.
I was out for hot dogs, for Pete's sake. Now, you're the one who asked me to go, hmm?
And when Superman arrived on the scene, I looked over at that hot dog stand. You were gone, Clark. You were nowhere.
No, I was... Darn it, Lois, I can't help it. If I had to go...
You are Superman, aren't you?
Lois, we've been through this hallucination of yours before, haven't we? I mean, don't you remember? And can't you see what you almost did? I mean, jumping off a building 30 stories up? Can't you see what a tragic mistake you almost made?
You're right, Clark. I did make a tragic mistake. What a fool I was. I bet my life instead of yours.
Lois? Now, Lois, don't be insane.
Now, don't bother to fake it and fall down, because you'll have to get up somehow.
Don't be crazy.
I knew it. I guess I must have known it for the longest time.
You realize, of course, if you'd been wrong, Clark Kent would have been killed.
How? With a blank? Gotcha.